Hey everyone, it's the wide world of Wu. We are going down a little different rabbit hole talking Wu-Tang appearances on TV. And we are joined by a super special guest, Mr. Josh Thomas. What's going on, Josh?
Hey Ty, good to be joining you guys.
Good to have you. And Andy's here also. What's new, Andy?
Hey, not a whole lot. Just hanging out doing laundry.
Yeah, sounds good. And no COVID, apparently.
No COVID.
Always a
COVID
good
free.
thing. Yeah. I I'm pretty sure I don't have COVID. It's been going around the family. I'm sorry, not COVID has been going
Ooh.
around the family, but sore throat has been, and we've already tested other people. So I think I'm good. But yeah, so we're all healthy, we're all here. And like I said, we're gonna be trying something a little different today. We are going to explore some Wu-Tang appearances on TV. And we don't have a definitive list. Of course, that would be really hard to do, but we have some different selections that we've come together and established. And so I was thinking, do we want to preview them? I think we should just kind of roll them out one by one, not give it away right at the start. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. You cool with that,
Yeah,
Andy? All right.
yeah.
All right, so we've got our list here, and we haven't prepped this super well in terms of how we want to present it, but let's just start off. I'll start off with the top on my list, and that is the famous Wu-Tang Financial from Chappelle's Show in the early 2000s. So we'll try and do a quick synopsis on each of these appearances. Someone want to volunteer for Wu-Tang Financial?
You got it, Andy. I believe in you.
Yeah. Uh, what what exactly do you want me to say about all this? I mean, it's hilarious.
Give your outline of the whole skit.
This skit in general just like totally brought me back to when this show came out. I was a junior in high school when this came out, and I remember going to art class the next day and everyone was quoting this. And it was, yeah. But I think it's a great sketch. I think it's really funny. I think it's, yeah, it just is timeless, quotable.
Yeah.
That's about all I really have to say about it.
Yeah, so we should say there may be spoilers, I guess, if we can define them as that in this episode, because we're going to be talking about, different appearances, and I don't know, we're not going to like leave cliffhangers. So if you want to tune out for a little while, we're talking Wu-Tang Financial right now, a short sketch on Chappelle's Show. Basically the premise is there's a new I don't know what you would call it, financial institution at the disposal of folks who need some wealth management, and Wu-Tang Financial has been established to fill their need. And so Wu-Tang Financial offers diversifying of bonds as one facet. And it's Jizza and the RZA. We should say that who's in the sketch. And let's see, is Chappelle actually in the sketch? I can't remember.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Just those.
Okay. Yeah. So they meet with the couple who needs financial management meets with Jizza and Riza, and I think they come away happy with their decision, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, at the end of
Yeah,
this sketch, they're all putting the W's up and
yeah,
saying,
right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yep. So that's Wu-Tang Financial in a nutshell. Josh, did you see this when it first came out, or when did you become familiar with this?
Yeah, this is probably when I had. This was probably one of my introductions to Wu-Tang on top of Metalheads. Was when they were on the Chappelle Show, or I think it's really interesting the fact that they do say like diversify yourself, because honestly that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about, is how they made themselves even more present uh, outside of music. Was, put yourself as many places as you can so people can know who the hell you are. I mean, my parents know who they are. That says something.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
absolutely. Yeah, I had that same observation, like that line in itself. Well, even the concept of the sketch of them like branching off into something else, because they've done clothing, they've done movies, they've done, they've done video games, and it was like they were pushing into all these different industries, and so financial management was just a funny one, especially with the reference to cream. So
Yep.
yeah, absolutely. Timeless. I love it. Anything else on Wu-Tang Financial from either of you?
I think this is the sketch, if I'm getting it wrong, but there was a good period of time where I think, and this is not like, it probably doesn't hold up very well, but everyone walked around saying "Konnichiwa, bitches."
Oh yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that was the racial draft.
Oh, okay. But either
Yeah.
way,
Right.
like, there was
Still.
a good period of time where that was being said on a regular basis.
Oh
Right.
man.
Right. Yep.
Yes.
Which is funny because I was going to bring that up when we get to the racial draft, and maybe this is a good segue to get into that. But they're definitely like conflating Japanese and Chinese, because they're talking about Chinese right before that, and then they're talking about like Yao Ming or something, and then Jizza says Konnichiwa, which is a Japanese word. Um, but so let's get into the racial draft, which is the second one. So another, I think around the same time, but I remember it from. I mean, the whole run of Chappelle Show was only a couple years, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's only technically 2 seasons.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
And the third one was like I don't even think he was in half of it. It was like stuff
Oh,
they taped. Yeah.
Okay,
it was weird.
all
Yeah, it
right,
was strange.
all right. So racial draft. Who wants to give an overview of that one?
Am I going again? Or are you going, Josh?
Yeah. If you could go on this one again, Andy, that would be great.
All right. This one for me, like I remember when it came out, and I mean it's funny. When it came out, it was funny too, but it definitely is like it's a tough one, especially in the times that we're in.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it was a little bit like watching it, I was like, oh, like, but it is funny. And I mean I'm a firm believer in like, I love comedy. Like I loved watching comedy when I was growing up. And I think it's a good outlet for us to like kind of look at ourselves and laugh at ourselves sometimes, even in the worst of times, you
Yeah,
know. So
yeah. I mean, racial identity is not an easy topic, and so to kind of take it head on with this whole idea of a racial draft, it's like you're just confronting
Mhm.
it right away and being like, "All right,
mhm.
well, there is some interesting ways of looking at it." So the premise is. We've got different representatives from different races, and they get to select I guess it's celebrities for the most part, who share like what would be the best way of saying it, like like divided racial identities, or how would you phrase it?
Um, I guess if it's not a bad one, they're mixed.
Okay.
Like probably one of the best ones would be like Lenny Kravitz, which
Right.
Yeah, that one.
Right.
I love that
by
one.
the last name is just, it's his wasn't his dad the accountant for his mom, or was it the other way
Yeah.
around?
No, I think
No,
you're
that.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then that was always an interesting thing for him growing up. And yeah, it's a
Right.
lot of topical humor between the Lenny Kravitz one, Colin Powell,
Right.
Tiger Woods. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Certainly of the time, most
Yeah.
definitely. But
Right.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
And
we all know
sorry.
that Chappelle. Oh, I was gonna say we all know that Chappelle loves to like just hit on those hot button topics
Oh,
and
yeah.
Right.
just
Right.
not hold back.
Right. And I love Chappelle's impression of the white guy.
Yeah.
Cut the malarkey.
Yeah. Actually, in art class, we used people used to say that to me because I was the white kid at my table, so they would make it too.
So then
Um,
where Wu-Tang fits in with this, the punchline is that when the Asian delegation has a choice for who they're selecting, they choose the Wu-Tang Clan. And again, RZA and Jizza are there to accept the nomination. Am I remembering that right?
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. Yep. All right. So yeah, any other thoughts on the racial draft?
They
Go ahead.
they also accepted on behalf of ODB, who
Oh,
wants to now be known as, what was it, the old dirty Chinese kitchen or something like that.
restaurant. Yeah.
Restaurant, yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So this was pre-ODB death. That's right.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, crazy.
What'd
Yeah.
you have, Andy?
Oh, I was just gonna say, Chappelle accepting or going up there and nominating and most deaf or like is like one of my favorite parts of it all.
Oh my gosh. I knew I
Yes.
recognized that he's in such character.
Yeah, he's a
Mhm.
really good actor.
That's so funny. I'm glad you called
Yeah.
that out.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, we've got plenty more here. So let's go to the next one, which is Jimmy Kimmel, Ghost Stories with Ghostface Killa. Or is it Ghostface Stories with Ghostface Killa? One or the other.
I think it
Uh,
was Ghost Stories with Ghostface Killer,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
which he didn't even tell a ghost story.
Right. Yeah. What's the deal with that? It was like
I don't know.
it was the biggest tease. It's just ghosts sitting in a chair telling a short story about a little person.
About Mini Kiss.
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. Mini Kiss. I didn't know what he was talking about originally. Were either of you familiar with Mini Kiss?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I
when he
think
was
I've,
talking
oh, go for it.
no, I'm just laughing. Go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah, I've seen like mini wrestling troops. I probably heard a mini kiss. But
Okay.
yeah,
All
I
right.
thought that was just so, I'd never heard of this before, and it was so funny.
It's yeah, it was very strange. I thought this one, like, I think it would have been a little better if it was a little bit more ghost story oriented. But I still thought it was like kind of funny and off the wall. And Ghosts actually, I enjoy his storytelling. Like, obviously, as a rapper, he's a great storyteller, narrator, and he did this thing for Vice, which I don't think it technically qualifies as TV. I think it was an internet thing, but it was so funny. He was narrating like this party on a boat, and someone gets drunk and falls off the edge. And then, have either of you guys seen that?
No,
Or
but I'll have to
no?
check that out.
Oh my
Yeah, same.
gosh.
I've not, but
It's so,
yeah.
like, the more you watch it, the funnier it gets. He does such a good job narrating. And so anyways, that's an aside. But so Ghost Stories with Ghostface Killa, really all it is him sitting in a chair telling this little story. But either of you guys familiar with this before finding it for this show, or anything, or is it new?
I think I'd seen it once before on YouTube, but I rewatching it, or maybe I just heard of it. I don't know. But either way, it was definitely worth watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew of Jimmy Kimmel, but I didn't know about this little skit. But
Yeah. Okay.
pretty darn funny.
Okay. There was one thing I listened to it like 3 times that he said at the end. I think was it, and but I couldn't understand what he was saying. Did either of you have that like confusion, or do you happen to remember what it was, like how he ended the appearance?
I can't trying to remember.
Okay.
No, not quite.
All right. Well, we'll take it offline because I want to get to the bottom of this. Because he says some like string of words like in a really short sequence, and I was like, "What?" And so we'll get back to that one, but
Okay.
we'll keep going with Ghostface and move on to something called The World According to Pretty Tony from MTV2, which was entirely new to me when I came across this. Did either of you know about it?
I think I had once again I'd seen it on YouTube before. I didn't see it when it originally aired, but it was hilarious and kind of awesome. It's just him talking about like different ways to like survive with
Right.
like on a budget, basically, and stuff like that. So I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It was also really weird that it was like little short clips on MTV2 at one point in time.
Yeah. Were you familiar, Josh?
No, I was not, but yeah,
Okay.
like Andy just said, that I imagine this was the time when there were still kind of music videos on MTV too, and they might have like a little sprinkle in Pretty Tony or whoever they could get to make a little skit.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
interesting.
that's kind of what I was thinking, but I'm glad that you were kind of thinking the same thing. Um, it reminded me a little bit of like Mr. Rogers or something like that. Just friendly tips from friendly neighborhood Ghostface killer, and yeah, he talked about like things to eat, like oatmeal, like eating 3 bowls of oatmeal a day
Yeah.
would be good. What were some of the other ones? I don't remember.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
talking about the Wallabies too.
Oh, really? I must have missed that. I need to go back and rewatch that. I started
Like
watching it and then I stopped, and I think I missed some stuff in between.
the first two, I think, were all Wallabies. He was talking about how they used to get like the rip off ones and then dye them and then sell them for more and stuff like that.
Oh man, I love that.
I
Okay.
love his accent too, his East Coast accent, because he says $5. Like the way he
Yeah.
says it is just so New York. It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I
And
can't even say
I love how
it.
he emphasizes things really, really, really. Like he has to say really at least 4 times.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on World According to Pretty Tony?
No,
I
it
don't
fun and goofy.
Yeah. I mean, all I found was like that 5-minute clip on YouTube of the little segments. So maybe there's more, but I don't know. Well, let's go to Liquid Science, which is a show hosted kind of by Jizza, produced by Red Bull. I will say I did not really have a chance to dive into this one, unfortunately. It was because each episode was like 20 minutes long, and there were like 7 or 8 or 9 of them. But did either of you get into that?
actually, yeah, like I as soon as I started watching it, I couldn't stop watching it, to be honest with
Oh,
you.
nice.
And then I actually ended up watching a bunch of other just things. But yeah, no, it's super good. It's so good. It's so interesting. And I don't know. I mean, Jiz is just awesome. And he's a great host, I think.
Yep.
And yeah, no, it's fun because you watch all these really interesting things and you can kind of see how like interested he is in all
Yeah.
of it. And
Yeah.
yeah, I and I get sucked into stuff like that really easily. So
Yeah. What about you, Josh? You have a chance to check it out?
I was in the similar position, Ty. I kind of ran out of time, but I
Yeah.
caught a couple seconds of the first one, and yeah, Andy, like you're saying, it's I think for me also too, it's like seeing someone who I admire, especially musically, explain or work with people in the science community. That's really freaking cool because I mean they're all very intelligent individuals. So to see them go into that, see him go into just trying to make a show like that,
Yeah.
that's great. Open up some minds to that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
for
So they covered global warming in the first episode. They covered virtual reality. They covered, I think, like life extension. What were some of the other ones that you remember, Andy?
Oh, oh God, I can't. I actually should have written all these down. I did not. So I'm sorry. I don't know. It is like for anybody listening, it is a great chance to like just sit down and like kind of discover things. Like the first episode alone, just like watching them go into this building and then go underneath the building and or into the building, and there's like a whole garden down there and it's so crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know it's a good chance to kind of learn a little bit about stuff. Like I mean, I'm not a science nerd, but I'm always intrigued,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to things like plant life and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's super cool idea. I feel like it was a missed opportunity, although they probably didn't have the foresight at the time, but I wish they would have gotten into like vaccines and how vaccines work, because I know there's so much vaccine skepticism among rappers. It would have been really good to like explore that a little bit, just to like demystify it a little bit. I know there are Wu-Tang members who are like, skeptical of vaccines or think that they're gonna harm them, which is understandable if you don't understand them. So that's why I wish they'd gone into it a little bit. But that's it is what it is. It came out in 2017, I guess produced by Red Bull, which I don't entirely understand. Like, I guess Red Bull just throws money wherever they want.
yeah, it seems that way. I
Yeah.
watched, they have like a whole web series of like I watched one with like Mad Lib. Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Interesting.
kind of throw money at stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so maybe this doesn't even technically qualify for our Wu-Tang on TV if it was never, well, was it on Netflix? Because I feel like I read that it was on Netflix at one point, but I only found it on the Red Bull website.
Okay, I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I had never seen it until you put it on there. So
Yeah. Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else on Liquid Science?
No, people should check it out. It is really interesting.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one, which is on my list, SNL's Walking in Staten, which is a parody of Walking in Memphis by Mark Cohn. Pete Davidson produced, I would imagine, and Method Man as our Wu-Tang hero, obviously a Staten Islander himself. Although I think he was originally from Long Island, but I could be wrong about that. Anyways, he lives in Staten Island now, and it was a great representative for this skit. Did you guys watch this?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. What do you think?
I can go first on this one.
Sure.
I'm a huge fan of SNL, and I saw this I think when it first came out, and I thought it was pretty damn funny because it's Pete Davidson too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then to have him come out and do kind of like the last third of the song was just a great addition to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of good little Staten jokes in there.
Yep. Your thoughts, Andy?
I do remember when this came out. I unfortunately don't keep up with SNL like I used to, but I hadn't actually watched it until you put it on there. But
Okay.
it is hilarious. It is
Yeah.
so funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
it and just him talking about like this is how I turned out so weird because
Yeah.
like researching everything that I have about the Wu-Tang Clan, like learning about Staten Island, it does seem like such a oddball place.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like I said, Mark Cohn, Pete Davidson, and Method Man, and then this character Big Wet was the other guy. As far as I could tell, this is like kind of his like big debut, but either of you know anything about Big Wet?
I actually just watched. So Netflix has been putting out these like weird stand-up things with like Pete Davidson did one, Snoop Dogg did one, Seth Rogen did one, and they all have like a musical guest.
Okay.
And Big Wet was on Pete Davidson's, and that's the only other time besides this that I'd ever heard of him.
What did he do? What
And it
was he, a
seems,
rapper?
yeah, he just does like country hop.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
I could
Okay.
Really
kind of
weird.
tell by him.
Yeah.
Okay. How was it?
It was not that good in my opinion, but I mean, I like, some old school country and I love hip hop, but I
Yeah.
don't necessarily like them together. I love 3 6 Mafia, but I don't consider them country hop.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair. All right. Okay, so that's Walking is Staten, short parody of Walking in Memphis on SNL with Method Man. Method Man rolling into our next TV appearance. Well, this is not so much appearance as it is an entire short-lived series. That is Meth and Red, Method Man and Red Man, their sitcom on Fox, which lasted all of, I think, one season. Not a huge success. So were either of you watch this in its day or go back and watch any, or where do you stand on Meth and Red?
I actually did watch this. I don't think I watched the whole first season, but I did watch some of it when it first came out because I was a huge fan of the Blackout album
Oh
and
yeah.
a huge fan of the movie How High,
Okay.
which is
Yeah.
not a good movie, but it is really funny.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, this show it did not hold up very well, and it was not
Co-signed.
it's not that very good, but they do have really good chemistry together. That is undeniable. So
Yeah.
I will give it that at least.
Yeah.
But other than that, we're gonna talk about another TV appearance later where it actually got referenced and made fun of.
Right. Right. Yep. I noticed that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Josh, for Meth and Red?
I think I watched a little bit of it when it first came out. I forget when that was. But yeah, I mean, I checked it just because I was like, ooh, rappers on TV? Well, why the hell not?
Yeah.
And yeah, it just kind of felt like a weird, like late 90s into 2000s sitcom thing. And
Yeah.
they tried, but not everyone can be a success.
Yeah, exactly. Premise is Meth and Red live together with Method Man's mom for some reason. And they just get into shenanigans living in this upper class neighborhood. I I gotta be honest, I couldn't make it that far into this. I made it like halfway through the first episode, and there was just like so much of that forced laugh track at things that were not funny. And I was like, yeah, I just I've spent enough life on this. So maybe I'll come back to it at some point. But I mean, I could see if you watched it initially back in the day, like going back could be kind of nostalgic, could be kind of fun. But yeah, it's not that great.
No.
No, not really.
All right. Are we good on Meth and Red?
Yeah, I think we are.
I think that last one was kind of the 1-2 punch right there.
Yeah. All right. So next I have Wu-Tang on Upright Citizens Brigade, which is something that Josh brought to the table. So how'd you find this? What you know about this, Josh?
So the Upright Citizens Brigade was a comedy. Well, technically, it's still a comedy troupe program in New York City, and it's been weird over the years. So it's set up for this is Right Citizens Brigade show was a series of skits that it was really convoluted every time because each skit might be 30 seconds, might be 2 to 5 minutes, but somehow all the stories in the end generally tie together. Like this episode opened up with a guy getting mugged and him having a full wallet, trying to only be like, I only have these $2 for you. The guy's saying, no, I see all that money in your wallet, knocks him out, takes his wallet. And then it goes down to the lead characters of the show are, is it four? The comedy troupe of UCB, which is 4 individuals, and out of nowhere, they're in their citadel, way underground in the crust of the earth, and then this huge drill pops through their fortress, and out pops the RZA, and one of the UCB characters says, "Oh yeah, we used to bunk back in college. We used to live together." And RZA's giving so much shit to the other crew, and yeah, they're just trying to take hip hop even further underground and bring the party downstairs. So
Yep.
yeah, that's kind of where it's at.
Yep. So we've got appearance by RZA, and is You God in that? I think You God is in that. Okay.
I think
thought
so.
he was, but yeah.
Anyone else who jumped out? I should have wrote it down because I remember remarking, or I remember like noticing at the time who it was, but now I can't remember. Did either of you notice other Wu-Tang members?
It was kind of hard to tell because they were in the back and there was a lot going on, but I mostly just noticed RZA,
Yeah.
and I kept thinking, think I see you, God, but I can't tell.
Okay. Yep. Is Upright Citizens Brigade, is there any aspect of improv to that, or is it all scripted?
It's for the show, it was more scripted, but it was usually like an improv troupe.
Okay.
So I think just because they were all New Yorkers was probably how they all really connected. And
Okay.
with Wu-Tang kind of being like an entertaining, goofy crew themselves when they want to be, why not intermingle a little bit?
Yeah. Okay. That's good point. Andy, what were your thoughts on the Upright Citizen Brigade skit? Had you seen it before?
I had never seen it before. I do remember the show, and I do remember thinking it was funny. I actually kind of want to like go back and watch the show now because that sketch was hilarious,
Yeah.
and that's definitely like my type of comedy for sure.
Yeah. It was a good collab. What year was this? Do you know, either of you?
No, Josh.
I have the DVD case with me, so Andy, I'll have to borrow this to you. 2007.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep.
Cool. So that would have been 8 Diagrams era Wu-Tang for those who think in that way of when the albums came out. All right. Anything else on Wu-Tang Upright Citizens Brigade?
No, I just thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into some sketches that were equally kind of esoteric and off the wall, and that's Wu-Tang in space eating impossible sliders, which were shorts produced by White Castle, I guess. So again, not really entirely TV, but I don't know, maybe they were on a commercial or something. It's possible. But yeah, so Wu-Tang in space eating impossible sliders. The title kind of says it all, but what can you guys say about this?
I I had seen this a while ago, and then when you said this, I wasn't sure if it was on TV or not, but I loved it personally because I used to stay up really late, and I would watch like old school Star Trek and Frasier, and and I loved the like all the throwbacks to like the Star Trek, like the doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So I don't
Yeah.
know, it was highly entertaining.
Yeah. What about you, Josh?
I had never heard of this before, but
Okay.
it is thoroughly entertaining. Yeah, still weird off the wall comedy. And like you said, it's pretty much in the title. It's them eating some White Castle burgers and like giving advice to kids or like taking in mail. It's a
Yeah.
lot going on, but
Yeah. Yeah.
entertaining as hell.
Yeah. I will say one of my favorite moments in that was when they beamed up that like 7-year-old girl, Jolie. Um, she was just so cute. And it was like, it felt very real. I don't know if it was scripted or not, but just like the way she was like kind of going off on interesting tangents and like the looks on their faces as they were kind of taking in what she was saying was like, it just felt really authentic. So I love that part of it.
Yeah.
It was very random. Like I think it was like midway through the first episode or the second one, they just like cut to a space fight on the moon with Merman or something. And it was like, oh, okay. So we're going to like some kind of uh almost kung fu slash what do you call the Japanese monster genre?
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, like the big Godzilla monster fights. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not kaiju, is it?
Kaiju. It might be.
I
I
think,
think people listening will
Yeah.
kind of understand what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it is
yeah,
kaiju. Okay, so it's kaiju. So it's kind of like that, but it's just like, yeah, super off the wall. And then they would kind of cut in with oh, we should say the characters are Ghostface Killa, Jizza, and RZA as the RZA 9000. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then yeah, some various characters. And there was like that guy from who was talking about Mars, and then there was another guy with like the long hair, long beard or something.
yeah, man. My some of my favorite parts are just watching like their reactions of Ghostface Killer. Like with the little girl, he was like smiling the whole time,
Yeah.
and then when the guy with the beard came in, it just got really weird. And then the monster came in, and he started laughing, like got out of character.
Yeah, that Pat Brown guy they had on was the CEO and founder of Impossible Foods. That's why they
Oh,
had him on.
right.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but he's talking shit about Mars.
Yeah, he's like
yeah.
it's uninhabitable.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can tell you.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't really have that much else personally on this. It's hard enough for me to remember what happened in all 4 episodes because it was all so random. What about you? Any other notes from either of you?
No,
No,
it is just it's a lot to take in. Worth watching.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
definitely worth watching. It's pretty funny, and I love like episode 3 and 4 just get super weird.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I appreciate it as like kind of a pastiche art and as I don't know, it's like an interesting way to advertise. And I'm not usually big into advertisements, but I definitely want to try an Impossible Slider now. So it worked on me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the W, Wu, and the White Castle definitely could go hand in hand for
For
sure.
sure. Oh yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. It's kind of a
Get a little
match made in
tiny
heaven.
burger with a little stuff.
Oh, dude, you
Yeah.
get it stamped in there. Yes.
Yeah. Well, so kudos to all the folks who made that happen. Let's go to the next one. We've got just a couple more. So these are some more music oriented ones. Next up is the Drop the Mic on James Corden show featuring Method Man. So Drop the Mic is, I guess, a battle rap challenge that started on James Corden show. And what I had no idea was that Method Man went on to host a show called Drop the Mic for like 3 seasons, or like 2017 to 2019. I could be wrong about that, but I was like, oh, okay, interesting. Did either of you know that?
I did not. That is actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, I had a really good time watching and listening to this battle between Method Man and James Corden. So I can kind of see the appeal. I guess the standalone show was like celebrities battle rapping each other. That was just what I gleaned from looking at the Wikipedia page for literally like 4.5 seconds. But the one that we're talking about is just Method Man appearing on James Corden's show for this battle rap. Did both of you? Well, Andy, I know you watched this one. Did you see it, Josh?
Yeah, I watched most of it, and I'm wondering, like, did Gordon have like some of these written out for him? Is he actually like that good at freestyling? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that they were written for him, but I was still impressed. Like he
Yeah.
still had good delivery, and like I thought a great job by both of them. All the punchlines hit, and I was really impressed. And Andy, as you mentioned, the reference to meth and red, I can't think of exactly what it was. Do you remember?
I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was along the lines of like you had a sitcom show that got canceled after one season,
Yeah.
or because he was basically saying Method Man is old and nobody's paying attention to him.
Yeah.
Essentially, is what he was trying to get at,
Yeah.
which is not true.
Yeah, it was like even though it was funny, I did feel like it wasn't true that he was kind of suggesting that Method Man's best years were behind him, where I honestly feel like he's gotten better over time and continues to be,
Yeah,
working at a really high level. But but it was still a nice fun exchange, and it actually like warmed my heart at the end when they like hugged, and you could tell it was just like a ton of fun for them.
yeah. No, it
Definitely.
definitely looked like a good time.
Yeah. So yeah, just a short little appearance, kind of fun battle rap. Anything else on that either of you picked up on?
Not really. I've never actually watched his show, but I watched like the clips on YouTube a lot. And I might have to go watch the other ones. I saw there was ones with like Snoop Dogg and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I'll have to check that out too. That sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I never watched the show either, but it was definitely a good time watching that skit. So, well, we've got two left, and we've had kind of corporate sponsorship from Red Bull and from White Castle for the Impossible Sliders, and now we have two straight up commercials. The first one being the St. Ides commercial. It's Method Man, and who else do we have on that St. Ides commercial?
I think it's just Method Man and Ghostface.
And Ghostface. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's a short commercial, like no more
super
than 30
short.
seconds, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
So background, St. Ides is or was a malt liquor that was popular in the 90s, especially with hip hop, and they got hip hop groups and artists to do their commercials. And so original music by Wu-Tang Clan for this commercial, which is just rapping. There's no narration. There's really nothing other than it's almost like a music video with St. Ides front and center. But it is just a great beat, a great like whatever you can hear of the song is super compelling. But what did you two think of this St. Ides commercial?
do you want to go ahead, Josh?
Sure. I had a lot of fun with it. It definitely shows the times. Yeah, like you said, the beat's great, and that it is really just Wu-Tang promoting some beer. I'm okay with
Yeah.
that.
Right. Yep.
I guess I kind of enjoy what I do actually watch this commercial like semi regularly, not like every day, but every once in a while.
Yeah.
I didn't that one and the next one we're about to talk about I watch a lot because it just for some reason it really like brings me back to a time and a place.
Hmm.
It really reminds me of being a kid
Yep.
and uh, yeah. So I enjoy watching it a lot for that reason.
Nothing like a
And
beer
it
commercial to remind you of being a kid.
exactly right. Oddly enough, a few of them do.
Yep. Yeah, very nostalgic for sure. All right. Well, let's get into that next one then. And Andy, you can kick us off here. We're talking about the Super Game Boy commercial featuring the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah. I once again periodically watch this. It's a cool commercial. I love that like the track that they use for it. It definitely once again kind of brings me back to a time and a place of like living in these apartments when I was a kid. We used to go to everyone's apartment and play their game system and like yeah. And I mean Wu-Tang Clan back then, like I would always hear it in somebody's apartment or something, especially one of the older kids. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's super nostalgic. I never had a Super Game Boy, but I wish I did. So that's
Yeah.
all I really got actually.
So that was a cartridge, a Super Nintendo cartridge that you would clip the Game Boy game into.
Yep.
Okay. It's just so that you could
I had
play Game Boy games on a console.
yep. I had a friend who had one and it was pretty badass. We would, you know, put our Mario cartridge in the big cartridge and then play it on the TV.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, man, I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed it said, well, at least on the YouTube link that I watched, it said it was banned. Which I was like, was it actually banned or are they just saying that to get more views on YouTube? But do you know?
Interesting. Was like the commercial was banned
That's what,
or the
yeah, that's what they said.
oh, it could. I mean, they might have been saying that just to get more views, but it could have possibly been because, you know, especially back then with like the whole parental advisory, you know,
Yeah.
thing going on and all that. Who knows?
Yeah.
Which is silly because like the commercial is so like goofy and fun.
Right.
You know?
I mean, there was a lot of graffiti in it. I was like, is this a criminal activity that they're trying to prevent the youth from seeing? Maybe that's why it was banned.
Our kids are gonna go out and tag the walls if they
Right.
watch this
Right.
commercial.
Yeah,
Exactly.
which is oddly a very different premise than our kids are gonna like sit in front of the TV rotting their brains away playing video games, which I think would be the
Yeah.
major concern with a Super Game Boy
Right?
commercial. But anyways, yeah, it's a cool commercial. It almost felt a little bit like it could have inspired the Triumph video with like the angles of the wall and like
Yeah.
I don't know, it just kind of struck me. But did you have a chance to watch this one, Josh?
Yeah, like you guys have been saying, definitely very nostalgic. Just even just the grainy feel of the video itself
Yeah.
looks so 90s, and yeah, all the tagging and everything going on, and I can imagine that many kids' minds were just melted when they saw such heinous acts being uh, being done. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's really cool, and I mean, hell, it makes me want to get a Super Game Boy for sure too.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is our list. So now our task is each of us is to choose one of the aforementioned appearances as our top Woo TV pick. So who wants to kick us off on this one?
Hmm.
Uh, Josh, go ahead.
Okay.
You're killing it.
I'm trying. Let's see. I'd say overall, the Chappelle shows were probably the most memorable for me because Andy, like you said, so many quotables.
Yeah.
One of which I would be a little weird to say, so I won't say it. But but yeah, definitely cut the malarkey.
Right.
I might have to go back to saying that again just because my gosh, that's just hilarious. It's a calm way to calm people down.
Right.
So yeah, Chappelle's show is definitely my pick.
Sure. Okay. All right. What about you, Andy?
Oh man. I would have to agree on that level of I think the liquid science definitely like grabbed my attention and I kind of want to just go and watch it again. Definitely not meth and red.
Yeah.
But Upright Citizens Brigade was a good like little surprise and I was really into that one too, but I think Chappelle Show just like as far as historically, yeah, no, it holds the test of time, you know.
Yeah.
At least brings me back to its time.
Right. Yeah, it's really hard to argue with that. In terms of like cultural impact, I feel like that really, I think, kind of kept Wu-Tang on the map because they were starting to kind of lag around that time a little bit. I think people were questioning if Wu-Tang really was forever, and then you had these two great appearances to really inject themselves back into the mainstream and people's consciousness. So I agree. Really, Chappelle Show has got to be up there. I'm for myself. I'm just to be a little different. I'm going to choose the SNL Walking in Staten one because I actually really like the music in that original song, Walking in Memphis. I probably wouldn't go listen to that, but when I have like the humor and the rapping and the Wu-Tang, like all of those elements combined, it makes it more enjoyable for me and something that I actually want to listen to or watch. So I'm going to go with Walk into Stanton. And kudos to Pete Davidson. He had an interesting but good unorthodox run on SNL, and will be missed. So that's I think that's it for our Wu-Tang on TV episode. Anything else from either of you two?
You got anything,
No.
Andy?
No, other than it was good to have you on here, Josh.
Oh, thanks, Andy. Yeah, it was a lot of fun talking with you guys. Ty, I'll have to make it out to the coast and come see you and the fam sometime for sure.
Heck yeah, that'd be awesome. Well, thanks to both of you. It's been a blast, and to all listening, thanks for joining us. Check us out on Patreon or on Instagram. We just cracked 300 followers on Instagram, kind of a big deal. So thanks to all our followers. We love engaging with you. And until next time, we will catch you later. Bye, everyone.